It is another episode of the livinginforsyth.com podcast. Mike Schiano, publisher and host of Living in Forsyth. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being part of this broadcast where we celebrate everything that is Forsyth County. And we always invite you to visit the website, livinginforsyth.com, where you will find lots and lots of information, fun events coming up, and the best businesses in town where you can do business with trusted companies and learn about your neighbors and local events at all of the, there's so much to do in Forsyth County that, it's tough sometimes to cover it all, but we will do our best. And we want to welcome you in. We hope this is your favorite show for everything that is happening here in Forsyth County, Georgia. Today we're diving into the important new Georgia laws going into effect on July 1st. This really came fast, kind of snuck up upon us. There's over 100 laws going into effect on July 1. We're going to take a deep dive here into these laws that are impacting everyone from students and teachers to truck drivers and, of course, you and I. There is very little here that someone could say, well, none of these laws impact me. I mean, they touch all of us in one way or another. Cell phones are involved, education funding, school vouchers, parental leave. There's just so much here. There are health laws that are coming into effect. So we'll dig into these, give you some experts to talk about this, and we hope to hear from you on Living in Forsyth. Come to the website, livinginforsyth.com. Leave your comments. You can listen to this podcast. You may be listening to it on the website or where you get your favorite podcasts like Apple and Spotify. Today's show is brought to you by freebirthday.com. If it's your birthday, if you're planning one is coming up quickly, visit freebirthday.com and find out all the great gifts you can get for free at freebirthday.com. Now, about these Georgia laws, I want to know, is this really that big of a deal?
All right, get ready, because if you're in Georgia, July 1st isn't just another date on the calendar. It's like a legislative wave. A big one.
That's one way to put it.
We're talking about 100 brand new laws surging into effect.
100, yeah, that number really stands out.
Exactly. Not a handful, not like 10 or 20. A full 100. And they're going to touch, nearly every corner of life for residents across the state. It's just a massive update.
It really is comprehensive.
And I bet hearing 100 new laws makes your head spin a little bit. Mine too, honestly.
It can definitely feel overwhelming.
That's exactly why we're diving deep today. Our mission: be your shortcut. Cut through all that volume. We want to pull out the most important nuggets, the key insights from this huge wave of legislation,
right.
Help you grasp the big shifts without feeling completely buried by the details. So the big question is, how do 100 new laws actually impact you? Let's unpack this.
It's a great question. And while 100 sounds daunting, you're right, we can break it down. We've sorted through them, looking for themes, the most impactful pieces.
Good.
The goal is really to make sense of it all. Understanding these shifts, these priorities, It's valuable. It tells you a lot about where Georgia is headed.
Absolutely. And speaking of impacting you directly, let's start with schools. Education.
Always a big one.
Few areas hit home quite like that, right? It shapes the future for families, for kids. And there's one law here that jumped out at me. Seems to tie into, a national conversation we're all having.
You're probably thinking about HB 340. The cell phone restrictions.
That's the one.
Yeah, this is pretty immediate. If you have kids in elementary or middle school, K through 8, this law says personal devices, phones, smartwatches maybe, they have to be put away during school hours.
Put away, like in the backpack, off limits.
That seems to be the intent. The idea on the surface is pretty clear. Reduce distractions, help kids focus in class.
Makes sense. We hear a lot about that.
But it's also, like you said, part of that bigger discussion. What's the impact of constant screen time on younger kids? Their social interactions. Georgia's kind of stepping out here with a policy to recalibrate tech's role in early education. Could change things in the classroom, even the playground.
A significant move. Okay, so that's about the learning environment. What about helping students who might be struggling, maybe with just showing up, attendance issues?
Yes, and this marks a real change in thinking, I think.
Yeah.
SB 123.
Okay.
It clarifies that students cannot be expelled just because of too many absences.
Yeah.
Solely for absences.
Really? So expulsion is off the table for that?
For just that reason, yes. The new focus is supposed to be on intervention, on support, trying to figure out why a student is absent and helping them stay enrolled rather than just punishing them.
That feels like a more, I don't know, holistic approach, addressing the root cause.
Exactly. It recognizes that some students face real barriers to just getting to school consistently.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, schools always need resources. Funding is always a topic, especially lately. Any movement there in these 100 laws?
Definitely some positive news on that front. HB 371.
Right.
This boosts the state's education budget pretty significantly. It goes up from $300 million to $375 million.
Wow, okay. That's a decent jump.
It is, and that extra funding is aimed squarely at enhancing the overall quality of education. So that could mean better resources in classrooms, maybe more teacher support, new programs, things like that.
Quality improvements. Now, an area that always stirs up debate, school choice. How is Georgia handling that this time around?
Yeah, that's always a hot topic. The relevant law here is SB 233, the school vouchers bill.
Right? Vouchers.
It basically allows eligible students to get up to $6,500, money they can use to attend a private school or even a public school outside their assigned district if it's considered better performing.
So the idea is more options for families.
That's the stated goal, yes. Give families more control, more choice. But these voucher programs, they always spark intense discussion, don't they?
For sure.
Questions come up about equitable funding for public schools. Who really benefits from these vouchers? Does it help everyone or just some? What's the long-term effect on the public system?
Complex issues.
Very. It's framed as expanding access, but there are definitely different perspectives on how well it achieves that and for whom.
Okay. And it's not just about students and funding. The teachers, the staff, they make the schools run. Any support for them in this legislative package?
Yes, actually. A new and important benefit comes from HB 101.
What's that?
Public school employees now get 3 weeks of paid parental leave.
Oh, wow. Paid leave.
Paid parental leave. It's a pretty big step for supporting educators, giving them that crucial time after a birth or adoption without the financial worry.
That is significant. Shows recognition for their work-life balance needs.
Exactly. It acknowledges the demands on people working in the system.
Okay, so stepping back and looking at education. Phones away in K-8, no expulsion just for absences, more funding, this voucher system, paid leave for staff. It's quite a shakeup.
It really touches a lot of different aspects of the school experience.
It really makes you, the listener, think about how these pieces might connect and change things at your local school, for your kids, or just the community's view on education. Okay, from shaping the future in schools, let's move to protecting well-being, public health and safety, critical stuff for everyone. What stands out from the 100 laws here?
Well, one change that could have a very direct impact on saving lives is SB 6.
Okay.
This law legalizes fentanyl test strips.
Ah, I've heard about these, so they're legal to possess and use now.
That's right. The idea is harm reduction, allowing people to test substances for the presence of fentanyl, which, as we know, is incredibly dangerous and often mixed into other drugs without the user knowing.
So it could prevent accidental overdoses.
Precisely. It's a public health approach, trying to give people a tool to stay safer amidst the opioid crisis. A pragmatic step.
That seems like a really important shift. What about other specific healthcare areas? Anything notable?
Yes, definitely. HB 352 focuses on maternal health, specifically gestational diabetes.
Okay, diabetes during pregnancy.
Right. This law mandates that health insurance plans have to provide better coverage for its treatment.
Better coverage meaning?
More comprehensive care, likely covering things like monitoring supplies, medication, specialist visits more fully. The goal is improved health outcomes for both the mother and the baby. It ensures this common complication gets the attention and resources it needs.
That's great news for expecting families. Now, a topic that's been huge nationally, IVF, in vitro fertilization. Any changes or protections there?
A very significant one, HB 428.
Okay.
This law explicitly protects the right to in vitro fertilization in Georgia.
So it codifies that right into state law.
Exactly. It provides legal certainty for families who are using or considering IVF and other assisted reproductive technologies.
Yeah.
Given the national conversations and legal shifts elsewhere, this offers significant reassurance and protection here in Georgia.
That is really significant for many families.
Wow. Okay, so looking at health and safety, Fentanyl test strips, better gestational diabetes care, IVF protections.
It shows a focus on harm reduction, maternal health, and protecting access to family-building options.
It really makes you consider how these laws contribute to a safer, healthier environment for you, for your loved ones. Things that impact very personal aspects of life. All right, let's transition now. Let's talk about the legal system, justice, public order. What changes are we seeing there among the 100 new laws? One that really addresses fairness and past mistakes is SB 244.
Okay, SB 244, what does it do?
It sets up a new process for compensating people who were wrongfully convicted and imprisoned.
Compensation for wrongful convictions.
Yes. It provides a formal pathway for them to receive payments from the state. It's not just about the money, though that's important. It's also about acknowledging a profound injustice, trying to rectify it, and building trust.
That seems incredibly important, a step towards accountability. Now, we mentioned fentanyl in the health context. Is it showing up in the justice system changes too?
Oh, absolutely. Fentanyl is a major focus. SB 79 brings in much tougher penalties for fentanyl-related crime.
Tougher penalties. For trafficking, possession.
The emphasis seems to be particularly on trafficking. Harsher sentences. It's clearly part of that broader strategy to fight the opioid crisis, this time by targeting the supply side, trying to deter distribution. A strong message from the legislature.
Got it. And what about something more related to, say, everyday public safety issues people might see in their own communities?
Well, HB 534 tackles street racing.
Yeah, that's definitely a concern in places.
It is. And this law imposes stricter consequences for those caught street racing. Harsher penalties, potentially vehicle impoundment, things like that.
So trying to crack down on that dangerous behavior.
Exactly. The aim is clear. Make the roads safer for everyone by deterring reckless driving like street racing. It's a direct response to community safety concerns.
Okay, so we've got wrongful conviction compensation, tougher fentanyl trafficking penalties, stricter street racing rules.
It shows evolving priorities, doesn't it? Addressing past wrongs, tackling the drug crisis, improving road safety.
It really prompts you to think about what these changes mean for justice and safety right there in your own community. Let's shift gears now. Transportation and infrastructure. Things that affect how we get around, how goods move, what's new on the roads, so to speak, from these 100 laws.
Well, one step into the future is HB 296, digital driver's licenses.
Digital licenses on your phone.
Exactly. It approves the use of a digital version of your Georgia driver's license. Modernization convenience.
So I can just show my phone?
Soon, yes. But the law also says you should still keep your physical card handy for now.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
Just because not everyone, maybe law enforcement in all situations or places you need ID, might be set up to accept the digital version immediately. It's a transition.
Got it. A step towards digital, but keep the plastic for backup. Makes sense. Anything else impacting road users? Maybe something less obvious.
There is HB 164. This one allows heavier trucks on certain roads.
Heavier trucks? How heavy?
Up to 84,000 pounds now on non-interstate roads. So state highways, local roads.
84,000 pounds. That sounds like a lot for local roads.
It is heavier than previous limits. The idea is likely to help with transport logistics, maybe make freight movement more efficient for businesses.
But what about the roads themselves and traffic?
That's the potential downside, right? Increased wear and tear on roads not necessarily built for those weights. Potential impact on traffic, safety. It's a trade-off. Efficiency versus infrastructure strain.
Interesting. So for you listening, maybe you'll start using a digital ID soon. Maybe you'll notice more or heavier trucks on your commute, things that change the daily experience.
Could impact businesses relying on freight, too.
Good point. Okay, moving on. Let's talk consumer protection. How are these new laws looking out for individuals, for you, in the marketplace?
A really important one for homeowners is SB 35. This deals with homeowners insurance.
Okay, what about it?
It requires insurers to give you advance notice before they cancel your policy.
Oh, that's huge. No more surprise cancellations.
That's the goal. Prevent those situations where coverage suddenly lapses, leaving you vulnerable. It gives homeowners time to figure things out, address the issue, or find new coverage. It's about consumer rights and transparency.
Definitely sounds like a win for consumers. What about specific types of crime, like theft? Anything targeting that?
Yes, SB 40 goes after catalytic converter theft, which has been rampant.
Ugh, yes. How does the law tackle that?
It regulates the sale of used catalytic converters. Sellers now have to be registered with the state and keep detailed records of who they buy from and sell to.
Ah, creating a paper trail.
Exactly. Makes it much harder to fence stolen converters anonymously. It's aimed directly at disrupting the market for stolen parts and protecting your property.
Smart. Okay, and what about financial privacy? Getting unwanted calls, that sort of thing.
There's HB 240, which focuses on mortgage privacy.
Mortgage privacy, how so?
Basically, if you check your credit, say, because you're thinking about a mortgage or refinance, mortgage brokers are now prohibited from cold calling you based on that inquiry.
Well, thank goodness. Stop the flood of calls.
That's the intent. Protect you from those unwanted solicitations just because you looked into your options. Safeguards your financial privacy a bit more.
That's a welcome change. So insurance notice, catalytic converter regs, fewer mortgage cold calls.
It's all about adding layers of security, transparency, and protection for you as a consumer in different areas.
Makes you feel a little more secure navigating those financial and consumer dealings. Okay, let's pivot now. Let's talk about support for specific groups. Veterans, families, workers with disabilities. Are there laws in this big batch aimed at them?
Yes, there's a definite focus there. For veterans, a couple of things stand out. HB 208 allows disabled veterans to get 2 extra free license plates. A smaller gesture, but meaningful.
A nice acknowledgement.
And more substantially, HB 266. This creates a military retirement tax exemption.
Tax exemption, meaning?
Meaning veterans living in Georgia won't have to pay state income tax on their military retirement income anymore.
Wow, that's a significant financial benefit.
It really is. It's a clear signal from the state recognizing and supporting military service.
That's great. And what about families? Especially with the cost of living. Any help there?
Yes, HB 586 enhances the child and dependent care tax credit. Makes it bigger.
Bigger credits. Helpful.
And it adds a new $250 tax credit specifically for each child under the age of 6.
Oh, an extra bit for the really young ones.
Exactly. It's direct financial relief aimed at easing the burden for families with young children and supporting working parents.
Important support. Now, what about workers with disabilities? There's talk about wage issues.
A very important change here, HB 112. This law effectively ends the practice of paying sub-minimum wages to disabled workers.
Sub-minimum wages, so they could be paid less than minimum wage before.
In certain specific circumstances, under federal waivers, yes, but this Georgia law makes it illegal now.
So equal pay for equal work, essentially.
It's a huge step towards equity and fair compensation. It says disabled workers deserve minimum wage just like anyone else, a real move for inclusion.
That is landmark. Okay, so honoring veterans, supporting families financially, ensuring fair wages for disabled workers.
It shows a commitment to building a more inclusive, supportive community across the state, piece by piece, through these laws.
Really strengthening the social fabric. Okay, finally, let's touch on the digital world. It's everywhere. How are these new laws addressing online life, especially safety?
This is definitely a growing area of focus. One key law is SB 351.
What does that cover?
It requires age verification for websites that have adult content, material considered harmful to minors.
Age verification, how does that work?
The law requires sites to make commercially reasonable efforts to verify age. The specifics can be complex, but the goal is to restrict minors' access.
Okay, and what about social media? That's where kids spend so much time.
Right. Connected to that is HB 338. This one requires social media platforms to take reasonable steps to verify the age of their users too.
So trying to keep underage kids off platforms or maybe limit their exposure?
That seems to be the primary aim, protecting younger users from potentially harmful content or interactions online. Both these laws, SB 351 and HB 338, are part of this broader effort to create a safer online environment, especially for kids and teens, as technology becomes even more central to our lives.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? The online landscape is always shifting, and the laws are trying to catch up. What did these rules mean for your family, for online interactions generally?
It's a dynamic space. These laws are a response to challenges that, like you said, didn't really exist not that long ago.
Yeah. So looking back at everything we've covered,
It's quite a range.
it really is. When you connect all these dots, the 100 laws, it's fascinating. They touch on everything from, street racing and fentanyl
Very tangible issues.
to digital privacy, cell phone use in schools, wrongful convictions, how much trucks can weigh.
Even things like IVF rights and fair wages for disabled workers.
It truly shows how the legislature is trying to respond to current concerns across the board.
Yeah.
Big issues, small issues, they all add up.
It highlights that change comes in all these different forms, doesn't it? All converging on July 1st. It really paints a picture of a society and its laws constantly evolving.
A living legal landscape, as you said. That's a perfect way to think about it. And that wraps up our deep dive into this incredible wave of 100 new laws hitting Georgia. We've journeyed from classrooms to courtrooms, highways to homes, even into the digital ether.
Quite the tour.
It really feels like a comprehensive societal update, all happening at once. And that's why we do this. We hope this conversation helped you cut through that sheer volume, that noise, and pinpoint the changes most likely to affect you.
Because understanding the specifics gives you so much more than just a headline.
Absolutely. Knowledge you can actually use. These changes will shape daily life here.
In ways big and small.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. As our laws keep changing to meet new challenges, how much of our day-to-day is influenced by rules we don't even realize are new? And maybe, what responsibility do we have to stay informed in a legal world that's this dynamic? Something to chew on as these 100 new laws take effect across Georgia.
100 laws coming online for us July 1. So get ready. It makes sense for you to understand. And if you'd like to see more detail, visit us at livinginforsyth.com. We have a blog post that outlines the laws and what their expected impact will be, who the laws affect, and it could be you and yours. So check us out, livinginforsyth.com. This is Mike Schiano, your publisher and host. Thank you so much for spending some of your most valuable time with us. We hope to talk to you again soon right here on livinginforsyth.com.